Morning, everybody. So, first, I want to talk about outstanding feedback that I give. Um, right now, it's outstanding in the sense of there's one definition, as in like it's outstanding, like it's not existence, it hasn't been given yet. So that's I'm way behind. I'm not going to go into all the reasons of why that is. It does have to do with stress and anxiety and depression and this kind of stuff, which I'm figuring out how to better work through. But I am here's what my plan is. My plan is to work towards outstanding feedback in the sense of super high quality and awesome. Um, I think it's gonna have to. I've been just trying to muscle through and like make it like, "Ugh, I'm just gonna do double quality feedback from the beginning." What I think is going to have to happen is I'm going to start grading um, what is going on right now. So, like, I started grading the comic book stuff until I realized that it's not all the way submitted yet. So, um, I'm going to be grading from right now, and then I'm going to go back. I've in this video today, I want to talk a little bit about on both sides of that, of like starting at the credo, which is, gosh, it's so long. And again, my spike of shame of feeling like I'm letting you guys down, which I really don't want to do, but I got to start somewhere. I feel like there's kind of a message here about like repentance and how do we change. And I think the way to do it is to be humble about it and admit we've done wrong and let go of the pride and shame and move forward. So that's kind of where I'm at. I wish I could had better stuff to report. I do feel good about the feedback I have given, but it's just really late. So let me point out a few things that I'm noticing. This is specifically about the Credo essay, but I feel like this is kind of stuff that in my experience of with this class in the past, this comes up later, these kind of principles. So let me point out some things I really like, things that I think could be better as well. So I'm going to start with NASCA's essay because I think this is a really good example of the credo as a concept that is initially like I thought, what exactly does she mean by that? Like, what is going on here? So commit to yourself, not your feelings. My first reaction was, oh, yourself is one word. But as I read through this, I'm not going to go through it. It's a pretty personal essay, but that whole distinction there, I'm like, well, wait a second. No, that actually is correct. Yourself. So that kind of like, wow, this kind of throws me for a loop. Like, I don't know exactly what she means. I don't know exactly what's going on. And then it becomes very clear. Nazca does a great job of like, here, I'm going to walk you through a specific day. And maybe it's a little hypothetical, but it's very concrete throughout. This is something that I feel like the key word that I wrote so many times, either as praise or as this is where you need to work to make this better, was the word specific. Because I feel like for a number of people, you had kind of, actually many people, I think it could have been stronger of having a like on August 5th, 2018, this person did this thing. This is how I reacted. This is how that shows what I believe. Specific. And you had like detailed situations, but none of it was that concrete. That's not true. There was much concreteness. There was many specifics, but there were often times where it wasn't. So let me move on. So this is Martin's. I noticed with a lot of you that the formatting was just kind of write it out, and the instructions didn't say anything very specific about that. So I'm this is just kind of advice that I think getting in the habit of using a specific formatting, so like MLA formatting, indents, headings, a title. There's work that can do. And for Martin, I told him, I think a title, or did I say that? Yes, a title would be really helpful in pulling some of this work, um, pulling some of the load of the essay, starting the work of where am I going with this. Um, I think Martin did a great job of making this tactile of like, okay, the smell of the bread, the specific location of here we were at the bakery. He actually had a different approach that at first I was like, how is this working? This is different than what other people are doing, where he had the thesis more at the end. I felt that it worked though. So two things to take from this. Number one, I'm not like you have to do it the way that everybody else, the standard way. Like there are ways to get things done um, that are effective, but that are um, not as common. And I left Martin some feedback on how he could make it work better. Um, Most of the time, though, I left feedback that was kind of opposite from his, of like, hey, you need to come out stronger with the credo that is specific and exact. Um, Dawn um, had a really strong upfront, I believe in service. Um, and see, I have mixed feelings here because it's like that is very clear. Um, if this were the title, I think that could work as well. I felt though that, and this was for a number of people as well, that your title was more general than it needed to be, or the credo itself was more general than it needed to be. Like you said, I believe in service, but then the specific example that Dawn goes into is actually way more specific, and that she could narrow that credo up so that it's not just about service in general, but like is a specific kind of service that I think would be more powerful because it's more specific. Um, so I like what I'm seeing. Um, be thinking though about, okay, how can I narrow this down? How can I really add the specifics that are going to be really helpful? Um, okay, moving on. So one of the first comics that I saw was Adrian's, and this was it was after this where I'm like, oh man, I can't grade this yet because um, you haven't had a chance to comment. It's like it's too recent. Like I'm going too far behind, then too recent. But still, I just wanted to point this out. Um, Firstly, I loved how most of the comics were like the guy was such a jerk. Like it just most of you interpreted that, even though there's like smiles, like smile, smile, neutral, neutral, smile, smile. Like it, a lot of them ended up with him walking away being a complete jerk. I thought that was funny. Anyway, um, I like how she's responding to peer feed or peer stuff. Where am I? What is going on here? I like how she even helped. There was somebody else who hadn't posted or hadn't embedded it, and she worked with that. So be on the lookout for how you can help. Like if there's someone who's struggling with something technology wise or whatever, see if you can help. Otherwise, solid feedback with positives, but then also like advice. So be on the lookout for how you can add this in with extra information. Okay, this video is long enough. I'm getting back in it. You guys keep it up. You're doing good work from what I'm seeing. Um, Email is the best way to get in contact with me. I've not been as responsive as I've wanted, but I'm gonna hang in there, and you guys keep hanging in there as well. So I'll talk to you later.